what type of training tool would you use on a stubborn, tiny poodle that's about 4.5 pounds?
Well, there's a lot of different training tools. I think the first, like if you're talking leashes or pressure tools, well, there's a whole bunch of them. But the one training tool that I probably would start off with working with a stubborn dog is that I would use their bowl of food. Using their bowl of food to leverage your attention is really one of the best ways to go about helping your dog understand that your voice and that you are actually important. Now, I'm going to go into a few of the other details about which tools I think that can actually help you, but I will always start every single training program for the rest of my life by taking up the dog's food. If you think about it, the food is money and your dog works for you, so to speak. So if your dog is not doing the things that you're asking it to do and you are giving the dog the bowl of food for free, then they are entitled to that. And then you do not get to ask them what to do because they have all the money. So with that being said, once you actually get the dog and you're transacting the things that you want them to do for their food, here are some things you should think about. So I probably would first recommend, and I've got one of these here with me, this is a slip leash. It's actually the slip leash was made a little wrong, but however, I've got another version. This slip leash right here is a very tiny one where I might actually, this is the type of slip leash that you might get. So when you're looking at these two, okay, when you're looking at these two slip leashes, you got a 3/8 of an inch and a 1/4 inch. I probably, with a smaller dog, would start off with a 1/4 inch slip lead as opposed to the 3/8 inch slip lead. Just these past couple of weeks, I've been using these more on small breed dogs, and I'm actually pretty pleased with the results that I'm getting from a smaller braided slip leash. Now beyond that, you might be thinking like a prong collar, and slip leash may not actually be the best. If you put the slip leash on the dog and you're trying to teach the dog how to walk on a leash or how to go to their bed and you're using leash pressure for that, if you're noticing that like your dog is choking against it constantly, like and they're hacking for it, and you're trying to be gentle but they're doing that, then you probably don't need to use that tool. So then this is where I would actually opt for a prong collar. Now, this prong collar right here, this is a small prong collar. I would not use the small prong collar because it's not going to really fit your 4 or 5 pound dog really well. They do make, and I say they, you can find out in the, you can find on the internet that they make a prong collar that's actually smaller than the small, and it's called a micro prong collar. I got to tell you this, when you're working with a micro prong collar, it is a very powerful pressure tool, and you really want to operate it on probably a 3 to 4 foot leash, not anything longer than that, because it is such a strong tool. So all these tools, the slip leash, the prong collar, they can be pretty powerful, and if you're using them wrong, you could actually run into injury. So that's where I might actually further recommend a remote collar. Now, I don't have the remote collar here with me that I would recommend specifically for small dogs, but the one that I would be from E-Collar Technologies, and it is called the Micro Educator. So you got the Mini Educator, the Educator, the Boss, this brand new one, which is called the Finger Trainer Educator, but they make a Micro Educator that is made for dogs and that size. It's made for dogs that weigh 5 pounds and less. So take a look at that. So there's a lot of different options. So start with food, look at the smaller diameter slip leashes, look at the micro prong collar, and then look at the micro mini educator, and that's where I would go.